Okay, guys, today we're going to go over movement and the musculature of the lower extremities. So we have hip flexion, it's coming from our hip flexors. So we have our rectus femoris, which is right here, and the iliopsoas, which is going to be located right about here. So those are the two muscles that are innervating our hip flexors. Then we have hip extension. So we have our hip extensors, which is our gluteus maximus, our bum, and then our semitendinosus, our semimembranosus, and our biceps femoris, which this image depicts where those are located. This is your glute right here, your gluteus maximus. Then we have our hip abduction, or from our hip abductors, which is our gluteus medius, which is kind of that middle muscle between the minimus and the maximus, and our gluteus minimus are the two hip abductors. Then we have our hip adduction. So our hip adductors are from the abductor longus, which is located right here. Our abductor magnus, which is located here. Our abductor brevis, which is right here. And then our gracilis, which is right here. And those are the ones that perform hip adduction. Then we have hip internal rotation. So our hip internal rotators, the one that we're going to need to know is the gluteus minimus, depicted right here. Then we have our hip external rotation. So our hip external rotators are our gluteus maximus, and our deep rotators, also referred to as our piriformis. There's a multitude of others, but for this class, we're just going to focus on the piriformis, which is this muscle right here. Those are very deep muscles in the body. Then we have knee flexion. So our knee flexors are our hamstrings. So the posterior aspect, including the biceps femoris, semitendinosus, and the semimembranosus. And then we have our gastrocnemius, also referred to as our calf muscle, as well as the popliteus. We then have our knee extension on the anterior surface. So we're looking anteriorly. We have our quadriceps. So our rectus femoris, our vastus lateralis, our vastus medialis, and our vastus intermedius. Then we have plantar flexion. So our ankle plantar flexors are our gastrocnemius, as well as our soleus here, gastrocnemius here. Then we have dorsiflexion, which is coming from our anterior tibialis. The tibialis anterior is right here. Run around in here, kind of right below the shin. Then we have our inversion, which is the anterior tibialis and the posterior tibialis. So we have our anterior and our posterior here. And then we have eversion, which is the peroneus longus and the peroneus brevis. There's this slide of disorders. Let's not worry about any of the disorders right now. There isn't anything in your new textbook. This was from your old textbook. So stay tuned. But I will look and see if there's anything that you need to know as far as the exam. Like I said, reach out with any questions. We will review this, and then you guys will have activity associated with this presentation during comps. Awesome. Have a good rest of your day.